What's up guys? In this video I'm going to be installing some Whiteline adjustable front end links on my 2013 Focus ST because whenever I was installing my BC coilovers I realized that the front right end link was actually broken and not attached at the bottom. So that calls for some adjustable ones, because really you should put adjustable end links on if you put coilovers on these cars and lower them. I only put adjustable end links in the rear whenever I installed my Steeda sway bar, and I have Whiteline end links in the rear, and I've liked them so far, and I've heard they're one of the better brands you can put on the ST. So I went ahead and got the front adjustable end links too, and we're going to be installing these today, and I'm also going to show you how to put them on and like have them line up properly without having any preload on them. So let's go ahead and get started, because I have an autocross event tomorrow, so I need to get this done and fixed. So let's go ahead and jack the car up and get the wheels off. And what I'm going to start with doing is I'll take the wheels off and put the car in jack stands on the pinch weld, and then use the jack to lift up the suspension to get the stock end link out. This one will be easy because it's broken, so I can just take it off. But on the other side, or if you have stock end links that still work, you'll want to jack it up to where it's easy to pull the end link out, because you want the bolt to line up with the hole that it's going through. And I'm going to take the stock ones out, then I'm going to jack the car up and use another set of jack stands and put it underneath the arm right here, because you want the suspension to be completely compressed. And then I'm going to take the jack stands out from the pinch welds and put the full weight of the car on the actual suspension. And then we're going to put these on and adjust them to where they line up when the car is completely, when the suspension is completely loaded. And that will make sure that the sway bar has no preload on it. So when removing the OEM end link, what I did was I put the jack right here, then I used my breaker bar like in here, and then pried up, and I pushed the bottom of the sway bar up, and keep in mind that the other side is jacked up and the wheel is off the ground, which will put less pressure on the sway bar. And then you can lift this up to where it's straight. It kind of just depends on what height your coilovers are at, but that's what made it straight. And then this just popped out easily. And then I'm just going to take the bolt out on the back of the bottom of the sway bar here, and then the stock one will pop out, and then we'll be ready to move on to the other side. Okay, so I didn't really film a whole lot of this process because there's not really much that I can show. It's just a lot of tedious, annoying work. But I have the Whiteline. Probably should get my body out from under this car because it's kind of sketchy right now. But I have the Whiteline front end links in. And to remove these stock ones, you just take this bolt out, take that bolt out, and you kind of just have to get this straight, hammer it out, lift stuff, and push it out. It's kind of just, you just kind of got to get a feel for it and feel where you can get this loose enough to remove the stock one. And then it's kind of the same thing for the new one. Just make sure you have the wheel off on both sides so that there's less load on the sway bar and like the suspension components, because that will make it easier to get both sides to align. Once you have both sides in, leave the bolts loose and tighten them both up once they're both through the holes. And then you can see they're adjustable, and once you get them in and all tightened down, this one right here is pretty hard because you have to use a crescent wrench. The OEM was a 15mm and the Whiteline one was a 17, and then I used this 5mm Allen key, and I already got rid of the OEM ones, but you have to stick this Allen key in the back and hold this, and then use the crescent wrench to spin the nut off, because if you don't, it will spin and you won't be making any progress. So that process is really annoying because your movement is very limited underneath there, but it's not impossible. So once you get it in, you're going to want to switch your jack stands from over here to right here. So I just have 4 jack stands, and I put some here. I jacked this part up here, and put one jack stand underneath here so that there's load on the suspension, because you want the suspension to be fully loaded whenever you adjust these. And pretty much what you're looking for is the point where there's no pressure on your new end links. And I can't really give you like a special formula for that, just however like how high or what the spacing should be on that. But you pretty much just twist this here, and I kind of have it already in the middle, but you can see, I guess it's kind of hard to show on camera, but if I twist more this way, it just gets harder and harder and harder to twist. But then if I twist it more to the left, it gets really loose. And right here you can see just I'm barely touching it and it's moving around, and it's really loose right here, and that's where we know that it has no load on it. So whenever you get to the loose spot when the suspension is fully loaded, that is where you want to tighten the locking nuts down, and that will be the setting that you will want to put it at, just as loose as whenever it's super loose. And the front you have to do with the wheel off, but if you're doing the rear Whiteline end links, which I also have a video on that, I did the same process, but I think you can reach them with the crescent wrench if you were to want to do that. But then I'm also, don't just tighten them with your hand, get a crescent wrench and or a box wrench, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, and get them tight, the locking nuts tight, and then you're ready to put your wheel back on, jack the car up, and take the jack stands out, and you should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and just get both of these sides done. I guess I'll do this one just so you can see what I mean one more time. But right here it's pretty stiff for having to twist it, so if I, there we go, see? You can even just hear how loose it is, which, yeah. So, going to tighten the locking nuts down, and now both sides are good to go. So all I got to do is tighten the locking nuts and put the wheels back on, and it's good to go. But sorry for not filming much in this video. It's just kind of hard, and it was an annoying process, so I didn't really want to sit there trying to film every little detail, but you pretty much get it from what I'm saying. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.